Good morning. Welcome to Frank's School. I'm going on with the screenplay, I guess is what you'd call this, for my movie Resurrection. Please keep in mind that it's important that this is a wordless movie. I'm using all these words, but in the movie it simply has to be shown. This is the 7th year, 39th day, first video of Frank's School. Characters for Resurrection, plus 3.5. And that'll take us up to all the characters necessary through Act 1 and Act 2, I think. Now, some more are going to appear later, but not so important. All right, these 3.5, who are they? Well, they're Paul, Robin, Robinson, and Babe. I'll tell you about Babe in a little bit. But anyway, first Purcell. I want to say a little bit more about Purcell. Interesting man. He was the organist, I believe. I think he was the principal organist at Westminster Abbey. He wrote a lot of very sacred music, and if you wanted to find a lovely piece, Rejoice in the Lord Alway is really quite wonderful. Now he's very early Baroque. He's a good bit earlier than Bach or Handel. All right, now back to this bunch here. Paul. He's based on Paul Bunyan. There is no, that I could find, there is no obvious god of woodworking. Woodworking is really what I mean. But Paul Bunyan is an American, well, I guess maybe originally Canadian, mythic character, and an axe was his special tool, special weapon, if you will. So he's going to be the builder. Wood is his domain, as opposed to, say, Festus. Robin, his wife, is based on, as close as I could come up with would be probably Hestia, but also Athena. Hestia was the goddess of the hearth and home, and Athena was the goddess in many ways of craftsmanship, of skills with the hands. So she's kind of both that. Robin's son, well, get it? Robinson crew member, Robinson Crusoe. They have a boy, so there's a child in this crew, Robinson crew member. He's about 3 years old. It wouldn't really matter. And on his lap, well, no, I'll tell you how they come in a moment. Babe, she's the half. You don't find that out immediately, but she's not yet born. Robin is pregnant, and Robin doesn't even necessarily realize that yet, but will very soon. All right, now they appear. Oh, and their instruments are a viola or violin for him, and Robin a violin. And how they're carrying him? Well, they're in the back of the pickup. Robinson, he should have an instrument too. And I thought, well, maybe a kazoo. That might be a good place for a kazoo. There's a reason in the plot to have him be able to introduce a tune too. As a matter of fact, well. All right, let me jump to how they appear. Well, again, into Marion's eyes, and Marion looks. He's the old man. He looks, and he can see things that others can't. In many ways, Marion is a seer, you might say. But I should also point out that Marion and his daughter Bryn are healers. From elsewhere, I mean, in other literature, they are healers. All right, anyway, he looks and he sees what the others can't yet. Deep in the woods is coming a farm truck, a really unbelievably beat up pickup truck. You wonder how it even runs. And my neighbor has one that would absolutely qualify. It would be perfect. It's coming down out of the woods along a sort of a road. And it is loaded. It's got chickens in crates and guineas in crates and much more. Their instruments, maybe tarped over. I don't know. Not sure about the tarped over. But anyway, that's the way they show up. And they're tuned by Männerwerke Liebe Fühlen from Mozart's opera Magic Flute. That would be the one at first, where Papagayo and sings with a soprano. Lovely, lovely tune, and it's a duet. And that would be what would be playing as they ride. I have this wonderful memory of Swiss girl that was here as a foreign exchange student who just sang beautifully. And when she came in my choir for a while, and when she came back a year, I think it was a year, might have been 2 years afterward, she was here with not too much to do. And she and I put on a concert devoted to love songs. Best You Is My Woman Now was one. She could do these things. She had that kind of soprano voice. It was so much fun. And we sang that one. There's the cadenza, or I guess you'd call it a cadenza. At the end of that, if you would listen to it, listen to what the soprano does right toward the end. It's really quite wonderful. And Mozart is getting pretty modern for the selection of music that I'm offering, the quotations I'm offering. But that's not their only theme. Later, their theme would be the second movement in Bach's double violin concerto. Beautiful, beautiful, but much calmer piece. And that's one of the reasons he might have a violin, but viola would be better. Just unsure how that would work. All right, well, anyway, they're coming down. Oh, and by the way, on Robinson's lap is a puppy. A puppy. Her name is Bingo. And that might really confuse people, because I think she should be a female pup. And I definitely think her name should be Bingo, because there was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was her name. That would be Robinson's theme. I'm not sure how widely that's known, but boy, that's known by all Americans, that tune. All right, and I'd mentioned it, I think, with the gardening and farming stuff. All right, they come out of the woods, and I thought about maybe having the music change as they come out of the woods, but I don't think there'd be time for that. And they start across the field, but the pickup truck gets stuck in the mud below the aqueduct. There it sinks in and it gets stuck. And I'll tell you what happens after that, I guess probably tomorrow. But now I've introduced the principal characters until probably the late in the third act or at the beginning of the fourth act. There'll be a couple more principal characters arrive. Bye for now.